Originally from San Francisco, California.
Okay.
From Daly City.
Okay.
I used to overlook Candlestick Park when I was a kid. I used to watch Barry Bonds and Barry Bonds, Willie Mays, and Willie McCovey play baseball with binoculars. One brother, one sister, and a mom and dad.
Okay.
My brother and sister could have became famous too, but they got out of it.
Oh.
See, they got out to do other stuff. My brother wanted to go play football.
Got it.
My sister wanted to do something else. So when they tried to get back in it, when you get out of it, it's a lot harder to get back in.
Sure.
So I'm the one that decided that that's what all I wanted to do, and I stayed in it. And I started working a lot. And they would have done the same thing if they were sitting in it, but they just got out of it. When I came to LA, I was 8. My family did one of the first Jello brand gelatin commercials.
Really?
Yeah, where they go, Betty Bridges of San Francisco, California, is doing it like gelatin. I came and go, can I have some more, Mom? I had a real high voice. And then we did the first United Airlines commercial.
Okay.
With Carl Weathers. He played the father. And it was called Fly the Friendly Skies with the Bridges family. And Carl Weathers was there. We're like, folks, I was on a show called Fish.
Yeah.
But I did a lot of mini-series from Movie of the Weeks.
Okay.
I did a show with Danny Thomas called Doctor's Hospital.
Okay.
I did Little House on the Prairie. I was one of the first stars of Black Kids in Little House on the Prairie. From Little House on the Prairie came the Waltons.
Sure.
I did 15 episodes of Waltons.
Okay.
And then I did a bunch of commercials, about 200 commercials. I did the first butter commercial, Parquet Butter. Did that first commercial. And then I did Barney Miller, and from Barney Miller to Fish.
Wow,
now, after Fish, what happened was, Anfigoda wanted more money, so Danny Arnold canceled the show. And it just so happens that he canceled it right at the same time that Different Strokes was casting for an older brother.
Fantastic.
So Robert Brogliotti said, we already have a kid, it's already, you can just already bring it to the show because he already has a talent. He knows how to work in front of an audience. He can do his dialogue. So they had to surround Gary Coleman with people who were already ready, established, because Gary wasn't ready for that kind of work yet.
Sure.
So they called me. I was on a cruise ship. They called me and said, "Do you want to do the show?" At the same time, I had auditioned for Mork and Mindy. And the original Mork and Mindy was called Mork from Ork.
Yes.
And he lived in the attic of a black kid and his grandmother.
Great.
And thank God I chose Different Strokes because they changed the premise of Mork and Mindy and made it from Mork from Ork and made it Mork and Mindy.
Sure.
And the black kid got phased. So thank God I chose Different Strokes. Well, as a kid, watching Gary Coleman get sick a lot on the set, his parents not taking him home, telling him that he put people out of work by going home, was kind of sad to watch as a child. I think his parents kind of just did what they wanted to do, and kind of that was their money. The dad quit the job, the mother quit the job, and that was their money, their gold mine.
Right.
And he had too many managers, too many lawyers, too many agents. At the end of the day, Gary Coleman had made $18 million from his show.
Right.
But only had $100,000 to show for it. They even took his Coogan money and started Orion Pictures with it. Then they said that when they sold the company, that didn't make any money, so he lost all of his money.
Of course.
I stayed very close to Nene. Gary separated, stayed very close to Conrad. I was the middleman for everybody. They could call me and I can call somebody else. And towards the last 2 years of Gary's life, I became very close to Gary again, trying to get him back out here, get him things going. But Gary just was a different kind of kid. He hated any thought of Different Strokes because of what his parents did. Right. He hated his parents. He hated anything about Different Strokes. Yeah. And and yet he became a security guard, which he could have done a lot better than that. Of course. What made him look at me differently was I started working a lot on different shows and stuff. As a normal person, but different characters, and Gary can figure out, and plus I stopped getting in trouble. Right. And Gary was like, wow, this guy's actually working a lot now, he's doing better than I'm doing, this is not right. So Gary had to deal with that as a fact. And then he married one of the most ugly women in the world. That didn't help much either. It's a very small percentage of child stars that have problems. Yes. They try to make it like it's every single child star. That's correct. That is not true. That's correct. It's like, out of my era, it was me and Dan Plato, that was it. Right. Before that, it was Mackenzie Phillips and I think one other person. There's usually maybe two that get in trouble. Like right now, you're dealing with Justin Bieber for that. I think recently with that hotel he just smashed. Sure. Lindsay Lohan. But they're not kids. No. They're adults. Right. So when we grew up, drugs were on a regular basis. Everybody was doing it. But what I always tell people is I wasn't buying them from the Brady Bunch. Right. So they have to remember that. Dana was doing drugs. I found out later on. She was smoking pot. But I never experimented with anything until I turned like 18. Then I experimented, And then I didn't know that, you know, your parents always told you to stay away from drugs, but not the reasons why.
Right.
I didn't know we had addiction in our family. I never knew that. Addiction runs in like a lot of people's families that people don't realize.
Okay.
Uncles and aunts and stuff like that they
Sure.
don't know of. And, you know, I actually found the cocaine underneath my carpet in one of my houses.
Oh, wow.
Which was the weirdest thing. And I tried it and got addicted to it and couldn't stop. I went
So
on
it all
an
happened by
8-year run.
accident for you.
Yeah, went on an 8-year run. Where our thing was you either did it or you didn't get to see with the fine girls. So,
Yeah.
you know, we chose to find girls. And they couldn't find me. That was the problem. When I went underground, I go underground for 6 months at a time.
Got it.
The only time I surfaced was when I was getting arrested.
Yeah.
Then they would know me. They tried sending their police officer friends to find me. No one could find me. When I went underground, I went underground. They were not finding me.
Yeah.
My brother said he saw me on a street one time, and I didn't even remember this. He said he did not recognize me because how I was talking and acting. He goes, he just went home and started crying, and I felt so bad for him.
Yeah.
That's how he had to see his brother at the time. And I didn't realize the effect that it had put on my mom until I was staying at her house one night. I just got out of rehab and I was getting ready to get my own place. And I stayed at my mom's house one night and I was sleeping downstairs. And then this went by my mom. My mom ran downstairs and looked and see if I was on the couch. And then I realized how much damage I did to my mom. So I think what I owe my family is staying sober. That's all I know, because I became my own dealer. So I was dealing it and selling it at the same time.
Okay.
I was living a wild life. So
Right.
I supplied my own, you know, I did the thing that Tony might tell you not to do.
Do not get-
Don't get high on your own supply. That's
Yes.
what I did.
Yeah.
And that just took me totally down. And when I went into rehab 23 years ago, I weighed 115 pounds. So I was pretty gone. And, you know, they helped me get my mind right and get my mind straight. And the judge told me that he'd give me one more chance. He said, if I see you in my courtroom, I got 2 words for you. He said 6 years. And I was like, I ain't doing 6 years, so I got my life together. I was mentally in fear and horror, and I just wanted my life to go away, but it wouldn't because I didn't know how to make it go away.
Okay.
And that's why I eventually got into, in February 23rd, 1993, I got into a program, and they helped me change my life and helped me find a way for me to realize that I had a better time at living and doing it the right way than giving it all away. But it's funny because he kept me on probation for so long to use me as his show point. Because he'd bring me back into court and goes, why can't you be like Todd? Look at Todd. The guy hasn't tested dirty once in 2 years. He's doing great over there. Why can't you be like him? Now I got to give you 30 days in jail. And I'd be sitting there going, thanks, Judge. Can I go home now? I hate having to come to court and show up.
Well,
you know,
right.
And you know, they weren't paying for my parking. And I always tell people, I don't judge people for what they are. I tell people, you believe in whatever you want to believe in, but I know for myself it was real, and it wasn't. I'm a living testimony. I'm somebody who actually is a living testimony. I'm here for a purpose, and that's to show people that God is real and He exists. Because if it wasn't for Him, I wouldn't be here.